Hello there and welcome to another new bike day. Today I'm testing out the A20E folding bike by a company called ADO. I've had this bike a little while now, and one of the first things that impressed me about it was the speed of delivery. It only took about 48 hours from me talking to ADO and giving them my address and then the bike turning up. Now they have basically three kind of distribution hubs, one in Poland, one in Germany, so that's fantastic if you're over there on mainland Europe. But if you're here over in Brexit Britain, they do have a UK distribution centre, which is fortunate because it means you won't have to pay any import duty. Once I started unpacking the bike from the box, I could see that there was quite a lot that came with it. Obviously you had the battery charger and the mains lead. You also had a little pack of tools so that you could put the bike together. You also had a little pump, you had a kickstand, you had some foldable pedals, you had a little mobile phone holder, and of course you had things like a quick start guide and a manual. Putting the bike together could not have been easier. Once I took it out of the box and removed all of the packaging, all I had to do was unfold it, insert the seat pin, install the handlebars, charge the battery up, and that took about 7 hours, pump the tyres up, and then I was ready to go. And here we are down in Portsmouth with the bike ready to ride. The bike itself is pretty chunky and robust. The build quality is really very good. The frame itself is made from an aluminium alloy, and the whole thing weighs about 21 kilos. So it's not exactly the lightest of bikes, but then you do have a motor to help you. The bike's battery is stored in this big square tube here, and you can charge it either on the bike or you can remove it and charge it off the bike, and you can remove it using the key that's underneath the bike. They say that the battery will last for approximately 2 years, but I suppose that depends on how many times you charge it up. If you're charging it up, say once a week on average, that's approximately 104 charges. But if you're charging it up less frequently than that, then obviously the battery will last a little bit longer. But like all rechargeable batteries, they only have a certain amount of charge cycles in them, and when this battery reaches the end of its life, hopefully you can go onto the website and buy a new one. And at the moment I am unable to find out what the price of that will be. It's got a 350 watt Hall brushless motor in the rear hub, and ADO say that that will give you approximately 60 kilometers range with a fully charged battery. And that's if you're just using the motor itself, or if you use a little bit of pedal power, it will give you up to 80 kilometers range. But that will obviously depend on the type of riding that you're doing, the terrain you're riding over, and of course the weight of the rider. Like all electric bikes, it is limited to 25 kilometers an hour, so once you go above that speed, the motor will cut out and you're back to good old pedal power again. When you're not using the motor, it does have a Shimano 7-speed gear system to help you. It only has one chainring on the front and then obviously 7 on the back, so it's not the biggest range of gear ratios, but then you probably won't be riding up massive mountains on it. More or less I would imagine you'd be riding on flat roads with little inclines of maybe 2 or 3%. As you can see, the wheels on this aren't your traditional spoked wheel. They have several plastic spokes, and the wheels themselves are about 22 inches, and the braking is cable disc brakes, so you do have some reasonable stopping power on there. It has some suspension on the front forks, and it also has some suspension on the seat post here. It's IPX5 waterproof rated, so you can ride it reasonably confidently in the rain, and it also has a clever little energy recovery system which I would assume recharges the battery a little bit when you're riding downhill or just coasting along. It also has some very nice little extra touches. So for instance, it has front and rear mud guards, so you're not going to get wet and muddy when you do ride it in the rain. If you're riding in the dark, it also comes with lights. Now the front light on here is powered by the bike's internal battery, and the rear light is just a regular, fairly cheap little plastic light that's powered by AA batteries. But for me, the really good thing about the little extras is this USB charging port here, and that's just in case you're using your mobile phone as a cycling computer or for navigation. We all know how quickly they run out of power, and with this you can plug it in and you can be confident that it will last pretty much all day. Now this bike has been designed as a commuter bike, so basically if you want to just pop out and do a few errands like riding down the shops or something, or if you need to get to work and you need to go on the train, you can ride to the railway station, put the bike on the train, take it off again, ride to your destination and get there without being all hot and sweaty. Now of course this is a folding bike, and ADO reckon that you can fold it in 10 seconds, although every time I've tried to do it, it's taken a little bit longer and it's not the most elegant thing to fold. But yes, okay, strictly speaking, it does fold down and it does pack down into a smaller space than it was when it was unfolded. Riding it, the bike does feel very, very smooth and very, very comfortable. I have to admit that I'm very, very pleasantly surprised. I can also feel that the motor is doing, I would say, about 70% of the work, which is ideal if you want to get to where you're going without being all hot and sweaty. But if you want to ride a bike and get some exercise and do a bit of a workout, then unfortunately this bike is not for you. There are a couple of things about this bike that I don't like, and the main one is the seat pin. Unfortunately, when I ride it, it seems to sink down into the tube, and that may have a lot to do with me exceeding the maximum weight. I've managed to do a bodge where I put some sandpaper in there to increase the friction, and that seems to fix it. But then by contrast, my other half, who's considerably lighter than me, she can ride this bike no problem. The other thing that I don't like about it is that there does seem to be a little bit of a lag with the motor sensing when you need a bit of power, and that's going to be an issue perhaps when you're at traffic lights or you want to get away from traffic. There's a bit of a delay there. And the other thing is that it does feel a little bit sluggish when you're going up even sort of gentle inclines when it's on level 1. When it's on level 2 or 3, there does seem to be a little bit more power, but again, that might have something to do with me exceeding the maximum weight. The other thing that I'm not so keen on is the key system. You have to have the key in the bike to have the motor engaged, and as I said earlier, the key is underneath the bike. First of all, inserting the key and turning the bike on can be a little bit fiddly because you can't actually see where the keyhole is, and then secondly, just having that key in the bike as you're riding along makes me feel like it's going to fall out, even though the chances of that actually happening are pretty slim. The thing that I do like about this bike is that it's a very budget-friendly e-commuter bike. You can go onto the ADO website and buy it for $850 or £615, and it will turn up at your house 48 hours later. The other thing that I like is that it is very distinctive and very quirky looking. I won't say it's attractive, but it certainly has, every time I've been riding it out and about, raised a lot of interest, and I've had loads of people ask me questions about it. The other great thing is that it does come with literally everything you need to get it out of the box and get yourself on the road. Okay, granted, the tools aren't the highest quality tools and the pump is very plasticky and very flimsy, but it will do its job and get you out on the road. And if you stick with the bike for any length of time, you can always go out and upgrade them. All in all, it's a great little bike and I really enjoy riding it. It's fun, it's nice and smooth, and yeah, it does exactly what you need it to do, and that's get you from A to B without arriving all hot and sweaty. If you'd like to know more information about this bike, I will leave a link to the ADO website in the description below, and yeah, you can go on there and find out a bit more. And if you decide to buy one, yes, it will be an affiliate link, so it will help the channel out, but it won't cost you anything more. If you'd like to know a bit more about e-bikes and why I like e-bikes in general, then click on the video coming up in the end screen. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.